Hello, all of my beloved students. I am Sanghamitra. You have a poem that is Aunt Jennifer's Tigers, which is included in the 6th chapter of Flamingo of class 12. Today, this poem is being discussed. This poem was written by Andrine Cecil Rich, who was an American poet, essayist, and an active feminist. She worked for women. She was born on 16th May in 1929 in Baltimore, Maryland. She was born to Dr. Arnold Rich and Helen Rich. Her father was a pathology professor at Johns Hopkins, and her mother was a pianist and a composer. She was homeschooled until the 4th grade. She graduated from Radcliffe College in 1951. In this year, Rich published her first poetry collection, A Change of World. Her earlier influences were T.S. Eliot, W.H. Auden, and Robert Frost. She has published 19 volumes of poetry, 3 collections of essays, and other writings. A strong resistance to racism and militarism echoes through her work. She moved to New York in the year 1966 because she protested the Vietnam War, and that's why we may think she was a slight politician. In this poem, Aunt Jennifer's Tigers, she highlighted a woman's experience in her married life. This poem addresses the constraints of married life a woman experience. So let us discuss the poem stanza wise, and before going to describe in detail, you have to know the theme of this poem and symbolism is used in this poem. This poem acts as a mirror of patriarchal society. Now question is arised, what is patriarchal society? It means a male-dominated society. In this poem, the poet takes us to a male-dominated society where women are nothing. Women's forms are controlled by the male, but they forced on their mind to control, but they are unable to control women's minds. They are incapable to control their mind. The poem makes this point by presenting the wild, interesting, powerful tigers embroidered by Aunt Jennifer and contrasting them with Aunt Jennifer, the oppressed wife. Here, some keywords are used. This is called the process of using these keywords and making another meaning. This is called symbolism. Symbolism is the figures of speech in which some keywords or signs used in this poem to make another meaning. So here some keywords are used, that is Aunt Jennifer, tigers, uncle's wedding bands. These are used for making another meaning, for showing another meaning. So here is a hidden meaning, underlying meaning is there. So for example, another example, common example that is very, the cross sign symbolizes the religion, the Christianity. So you can understand what is symbolism. So let us discuss the symbolisms, the symbols are used in this poem and in detail how these words symbolized in these poems. Now let's see. Here Aunt Jennifer is a female character to symbolize the oppressed women in a male-dominated society. Next character is the tigers embroidered by Aunt Jennifer. Tigers are symbolized the terror and oppression of women by the male-dominated world at the beginning of the poem. And at the end of the poem, you can see tigers also symbolize the freedom of spirit, fearlessness and confidence, which the aunt dreams of but is unable to achieve. And here Aunt Jennifer's husband, of course, represents himself as a terrific husband in a male-dominated society. He terrorizes her wife, Aunt Jennifer. The third character, Uncle's Wedding Band, it is used to symbolize the burden of married life due to the torture, marital torture, physically and mentally. And the fourth character, ordeals and ringed, are used for symbolizing bitter and harsh experiences by the Aunt Jennifer in her married life. Next, come to the point. The poem is divided into 3 stanzas. Each stanza contains 4 lines. The poem is a rhyming poem. It's a formal verse poem. The rhyme scheme is, the first stanza is AABB, second stanza is CCDD, and the third stanza is EEFF. Now I am analyzing the poem line by line. Stanza 1. Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance across a screen, bright topaz denizens of a world of green. They do not fear the men beneath the tree. They pace in silk chivalric certainty. In the first stanza, Aunt Jennifer's tigers prance. That means move across a screen or wall. Here, screen means a panel or tapestry. They are bright colored, like the golden yellow jewels. That means topaz. Topaz is a bright color that is yellow. Denizens here means the dwellers of the green world. That means forest. So the tigers are the dwellers of green forest. They are not afraid of the men standing under the tree. They do not fear the men who are standing beneath the tree. They pace in silk chivalric certainty. That means they are well groomed and running first on the panel with confidence. Through the first stanza, here Aunt Jennifer has knitted images of tigers on the panel. They are not real or living tigers. The images of tigers are created by Aunt on the panel with her own hands. The tigers represent her dreams. Her desire is to be free from the fear and oppression that control her life and wants to become brave like tigers. Now discussing the rhyme scheme used in the first stanza. The rhyme scheme is AABB. Here you can see the last word of each line. The first line, last word screen, and in the second line the last word is green. Screen and green are the rhyming words, and the third and fourth line the last words are tree and certainty. The respective words tree and certainty are rhyming words. So BB, you can tell here BB. So AABB, here the rhyme scheme. And now let us discuss the poetic devices used in the first stanza. Here the very word they is used in the consecutive lines at the beginning of consecutive lines, the third line and fourth line. Just look at the beginning. They do not fear the men. The third line is started with the word they, and the fourth line also is started with the same word they. So it is called anaphora. Next, topaz. Topaz, it's a stone, very bright yellow colored stone, but here it signifies a yellow colored tiger. So it is called metaphor because a hidden comparison you can understand. A hidden comparison is in the by the word topaz, it is highlighted, hidden comparison. So it is called metaphor. Stanza 2. Aunt Jennifer's fingers fluttering through her wool find even the ivory needle hard to pull. The massive weight of Uncle's wedding band sits heavily upon Aunt Jennifer's hand. Through the second stanza, Aunt Jennifer's hands are moving about her wool to create beautiful images of tigers. But the movement is not easy and smooth. Aunt finds the ivory needle very hard to pull through wool. The uncle's wedding band seems very heavy on her hand. She feels burdened with her marital responsibilities. Throughout the stanza, the poet wanted to say Aunt Jennifer always fears from her husband. Her marital life is burdened for her. Through this stanza, the poet wants to carry the fact that a woman does not feel ease to carry her marital life. Her humor does not matter before her husband. She feels so much subjected that the marital bond is a burden on her. This is also with Aunt Jennifer. And I have told previously, it is her marital life is a burden too much for her due to the excessive physical torture and mental torture. So that's why she wanted to be free from male dominated society that has been created by her husband, who represented himself as a recipient of a male dominated society. In the second stanza, the rhyme scheme is CCDD. The last word of first and second line are wool and pool are rhyming words. So here CC and the last word of third and fourth line, that is band and hand, are rhyming words. So here you will write DD. So CCDD is the rhyming scheme of second stanza. Now let us discuss literary devices used in the second stanza. In the first line, fingers fluttering. The same letter is used in the closely placed words. The same letter is F. So fingers fluttering, here alliteration is used. Next, third line, uncle's wedding band. This phrase symbolizes here burden life of marriage. And it also symbolizes patriarchal power. So I have said previously symbolism. Here the figure of speech symbolism is used because here these words are key words used in the poem to make another meaning, underlying meaning. So here symbolism is figure of speech is used in the third line of the second stanza. Come to the third stanza. When aunt is dead, her terrified hands will lie, still ringed with ordeals she was mastered by. The tigers in the panel that she made will go on prancing, proud and unafraid. In the final stanza, the poet wanted to say, Aunt Jennifer will remain terrified always in her life as well as after her death. She will be confident with unpleasant, painful experiences, that is expressed by the word ordeals. That means harsh and bitter experiences that she faced throughout her life, and even she will feel after her death, because she is mastered by her husband. Here mastered means controlled by her husband. Here the tiger that is made on the panel that she made, that tigers will go on jumping. They will be proud and unafraid. Here the poet used prancing, proud and unafraid. Proud and unafraid, these are very highlighted adjective that is used to indicate that tiger here symbolizes bravery, confidence. So here that was the desire to be free one day. Whose desire? Aunt Jennifer's desire, because she was confined by her husband into the self-made boundary of a male-dominated society. But she wanted to break, but that was her desire. She did not want to break it. She wanted to be free one day, and that was her desire. So here it is highlighted. But she met those tigers and she predicted those tigers one day will go on prancing, moving, breaking all the boundaries. And those tigers will be proud of that and unafraid always. Now let us discuss the rhyme scheme used in the final stanza. Just look at the ending word of each line, the first and second, the respective lines, the last words, lie and by. Here you will say it is a lie and by a rhyming word. So here you can write EE. And third and fourth line, the last words, look at these words, made and unafraid. These are rhyming words. So here you can write FF. So the rhyming scheme of final stanza is EEFF. Now let us discuss the poetic devices used in the third stanza. In this stanza, the very word ordeals used in the second line as a symbolism, the figure of speech, because it symbolizes the harsh and bitter experiences faced by Aunt Jennifer in her marital life. And in the last line, alliteration is used because P, the same letter, is used at the beginning of closely placed words. These are prancing and proud. So alliteration is used here.